It is showtime. It's also baseball time. That was the cheesiest thing I've ever did. I'm just going to go on that record. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Downright Sports. I'm your host, Brent Reed. This is a very special MLB show. All-star show, if you will. It's going to air July 11th, 2018, and we'll re-air it again next week and week after, because we're going to do. Anyway, we're back to do baseball. I love baseball. Have not talked baseball the last season of Downright Sports. I don't know why. I just have not, but I picked this particular time to cover the season so far. That's right. And so far this season has been, it's not been boring. It has not been boring. It has not left us wanting what the heck is going on. It has left us with what will happen next. Because what is going on in baseball right now, I will tell you, this is so important. I got two computers running at once. The standings. So far in the standings right now, the Red Sox and Yankees in the East, they're dominating. They're doing their thing. The Yankees and the Sox right now are separated by 3.5 games because my Yankees are starting to lose. I don't understand it. This is strictly for show purposes. Relax. All right. In the American League Central, it's pretty much Cleveland's. They're up 15 games. Moving on. In American League West, now things are getting interesting because the Seattle Mariners are 4 games behind the Houston Astros. At one point, Seattle was number 1. Seattle has come from nowhere. And what makes it even better is early in the year, Robinson Cano, former New York Yankee, didn't get that money from us, did he? Got busted for using steroids. Oh no, a baseball player got caught for using steroids. What would have happened? Well, ever since he went down and Orlando Hudson's become the everyday second baseman on that team, they are on a tear. They are one of the better teams in all of baseball. They're 31-17 at home, 26-18 on the road, but in the last 10, they're 6-4. Houston, of course, is just Houston. That's how good they are. But Seattle has been red hot. They have been a surprise. It is good for baseball when teams out of nowhere get better. And looking at Seattle's numbers somewhere on the screen, should have prompted faster than this, but I didn't. It's all good. They have guys, some players we've known, like Orlando Hudson, Nelson Cruz, but for the most part, it's being done from some of the young guys that's getting it done. Breaking news, Roger Federer knocked out of Wimbledon. Okay, that happened. But what else is going on in baseball? In the National League, it's upside down in the National League East. Everybody last year was up in arms about Dusty Baker. Oh, he's no man. Dusty can't get it done anymore. Well, they should have learned from their mistakes because old man Dusty had the Nationals in first place the entire year, while now the Nationals are 5.5 back, not behind the Mets. No, behind Atlanta, and now the newly first place Philadelphia Phillies, who have not been in first place this late in the year since 2011. What? Yeah, they had guys like Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, Cliff Lee, Roy Halladay. Yeah, those are the names of the guys that was on that team. Now, it's being done by a whole new pitching crop of guys on this Philadelphia team. They got a guy, I wrote it down. I'll come back to it in the next segment. But, that's the time. Anyway, moving on. In the West, it's the Wild West in the National League because Arizona, LA, San Francisco, and Colorado all in it within 4.5 games. Currently, Arizona's at the top of the heap, but the Dodgers are only a half game back after looking like they were left for dead. And then they turned it on just like they did last year. The San Francisco Giants are getting their pitching back little by little. And the Colorado Rockies, well, they're the Colorado Rockies. They're always going to be the little engine that could. They're always going to be the team that makes you go, will they? And then they won't. Because that's what Colorado does. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to go right into the season. The first half of the season so far. Who are the MVPs? Who are the biggest surprises? Who are the biggest busts? Hey, Downright Sports, Baseball All-Star Special. What? Hey, segment number 2 of the MLB Baseball All-Star Extravaganza Special. I haven't come up with a title for this show just yet. I'll probably come up with one in the editing, but it's all good. Hey, so far the MLB season has been a very entertaining season, but it's going to pick up in the second half because that's kind of what we've been waiting for, the All-Star break, to see who's for real and who's fake. As I mentioned in the first segment, surprising teams like the Atlanta Braves, the Philadelphia Phillies, the Seattle Mariners, hell, even teams like the Milwaukee Brewers, the Milwaukee Brewers, they have been surprising because they have turned out to be good. And they've been sustaining how good they have been all year. Milwaukee's ahead of the Chicago Cubs, who is, has clearly some of the best talent in baseball, but is a half a game out, and they're 7 over the St. Louis Cardinals, who is probably going to just turn it on as they do all the time. But we're going to focus a little bit on the first half of the year and guys who are making a clear cut. Hey, I'm better than what you think I am. Starting with guys like Mookie Blaylock. What? Mookie? Who? Yeah, the Red Sox Mookie is Mookie Betts. Excuse me, not Blaylock. Mookie Betts is clearly the first half MVP. Now, when the season started, it was looking like Didi of the Yankees, Gregorius, was going to give Mookie a run for his money, and then Didi just went on a cold spell. But same names as always. Mike Trout is in that list, but you can clearly make an argument for JD Martinez and Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is leading all of baseball, not just the American League, but he's leading all of baseball, batting .346. He's also in the top. I thought he was in the top 5 in home runs, but I think he's at least in the top 6. I think he has 20 home runs at least. Mookie has 22 home runs. I told you he's in there. Mookie, he's just behind Giancarlo Stanton, Nelson Cruz, Manny Machado, who a lot of people think could be an MVP. He could be like an A-Rod MVP, a guy who's on a crappy team that's playing very well. But Mookie clearly is the best player on Boston right now, especially with Dustin Pedroia being hurt. He's the main reason why the Red Sox are ahead of my Yankees by 3.5 games. And his defense was also, he's not a one-dimensional player. He makes over-the-wall catches look routine because that's how good and great he has turned out to be, and it's the perfect time for that to happen. JD Martinez of the Red Sox, he was a free agent signing. He's looking pretty stellar. 28 home runs, leading the league in home runs with 28 home runs. He's batting .331. That's his batting average. His WAR is 4.1. His OPS, his slugger percentage is .651. He has clearly he's clearly the second best player on the Sox right now, and he's got protection in that lineup. And this is a guy some people thought was going to get the money and just flail. He's a right-handed free agent pickup for the Sox, a lot like Manny Ramirez was, playing in that ballpark that most of the time left-handers thrive on. If you pay attention to and then you can put Mike Trout in there if you guys want to. If you pay attention to the National League and how that is shaping out, you may make an argument for Nick Markakis and the reason why the Atlanta Braves are in the talks of making the playoffs for the first time in forever, because Nick Markakis, who left Baltimore and was pretty much left for dead and was one of those guys that was going to go to Atlanta, finish out his career while they were on the rebuild because they just needed to fill up a roster. But Nick is leading all of the National League with a batting average of .324. Dang, I hit that wrong. He is also leading, of course he leads his team in batting average. He's not crushing the ball as far as home runs goes. He only has 10 home runs. He's got 59 RBIs, man. He's in the top 10 in RBIs. His WAR is 3.4. His OPS is 884. He is just what the Braves need, that veteran presence that gets on base and creates chaos. Another guy who found the fountain of youth was Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp was on the Atlanta Braves at one point, and everybody thought was done. He lost some weight in the offseason, and now Matt Kemp is helping the Dodgers move on and shake. Kemp's got 15 home runs. He's batting .312. His OPS, is 92. He is defensively, because you got to play defense in the National League. He's defensively strong. He's always been that way. But offensively, he's returned to a guy that some used to say was one of the best players in the game, and then he kind of fell off. Pitching-wise, the Philadelphia Phillies have that in bulk. These guys are strong from that category, baby. They have it, and one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, Aaron Newell, 12 wins. He's the only 12-win pitcher in the National League right now. His ERA is 2.7. Oh, that's the clock. He's got 126 strikeouts. The guy is a stud, and it's one of those guys where last year you kind of heard rumbles of him, and then he just turned it on. And it helps because he's got a guy like Jake Arrieta in his back pocket, a veteran pitcher that could talk in his ear and give him advice. And speaking of Jake, where's Jake at with Philly? He's a key. World Series MVP. Cubs didn't re-sign him. Well, this year, 3.47 ERA, 6-6 win-loss record. His whip is 125. But what a vet like Max Scherzer does on the Nationals, that's what they needed in Philly. They got that guy. They got that veteran to kind of motivate them and push them along. Who knows where the rest of the season is going to turn out? In my next segment, I will predict who makes the playoffs. I will predict who wins the World Series. I will predict who's just going to fall out. I will predict Down Red Sports. Hey, we're going to wrap things up right here. I could have did this movies and video game segment on the best baseball movies of all time, Sandlot, and just talked about that, like the best baseball video games of all time, MLB The Show. But I'm not. I'm going to make this segment real quick. Who goes to the World Series this year? Out of the teams that are currently in contention, the Red Sox, Yankees, Cleveland, Houston, Seattle, Philly, Atlanta, Washington, Milwaukee, Chicago, Arizona, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Colorado. I'm going to tell you right here, right now, you're going to hear it. The Sox and the Yankees will face each other in the American League Championship Series. The Yankees will beat the Red Sox in 7 games. 7. It's going to go down to the wire. The Houston Astros, coming off a World Series hangover, will not make it back to the World Series. Obviously, because the Yankees and Red Sox are going to go. Well, out of the American League, it's not going to be Philly. It's not going to be Atlanta. Washington Nationals will jump one of those teams, find themselves in it. They will beat, are you ready for this? They will beat the Chicago Cubs in their National League Championship to face the Yankees, and Washington will face each other in the World Series, and this will be the deciding game whether Bryce Harper's coming to the Bronx or not anyway. And what's going to happen is the Yankees will win the World Series in 6 games. Let's go with 6 because they got Max Scherzer. And that's what I'm saying. If the Yankees don't go, the only other team I'm going to predict that goes to the World Series out of the American League this year will be the Cleveland Indians. And the Indians will finally win the World Series for the first time since my parents were born. All right? So, that's my prediction. And if the Yankees don't fit, so I have the Yankees versus Washington in the World Series, the Yankees winning in 6, or I have Cleveland and it's so boring. I have Cleveland and Arizona Diamondbacks. Cleveland wins in 5. I said it. I meant to change hats in this segment because I was trying to do teams that were related to the Mets. Little history lesson. The reason why the Mets colors are blue and orange is to represent the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants. And my Giants hat's in the closet, and I forgot it. No biggie. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Downright Sports will be back officially to start a whole new season. I believe it's season 4. What? Season 4? Nobody cares. And we're going to come back, football preview, college football preview, NFL football preview, football, and more of the best topics in all of sports. I'm Brent Reed. This has been great. Enjoy the All-Star game. It's in Washington, D.C. I may even go up there for one day. All right? Deuces.